American country. U.S. Secretary of State for Latin America, Roberta Jacobson, reportedly said that elections in Venezuela should be fair and free. The council refuted as the U.S. official, saying the Venezuelan electoral system has been recognized internationally. In addition, the council directors noted that Jacobson's remarks are paradoxical and contradictory because the electoral system in the United States is fragile and secure to minorities. The strength and integrity of the Venezuelan electoral system is on audits of the process. What's more, the top electoral body issues official election results within hours of the vote, while the U.S. results are given by private media based on exit polls. In addition, the National Electoral Council of Venezuela said that Jacobson's remarks clearly show her ignorance of the Venezuelan constitution.
China's President Xi Jinping will visit Russia and a number of African countries in the first overseas trip. The Chinese president will travel to Russia, Tanzania, South Africa, and the Congo between March 22nd and the 30th. Observers say that the announced visit highlights the importance China attaches to Sino-African ties. Instead, he will attend the 5th meeting of the BRICS, the first summit held on the African continent to accommodate leaders of the world's most prominent emerging economies, namely Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The BRICS group, which accounts for around 43% of the world's population and 7th global trade, is set to increase investments in Africa's industrial sector threefold, from 150 billion euros in 2010 to 530 billion in 2015 under the theme BRICS and African Partnership for Development, Integration, Industrialization.
Lebanese President Abdel Mansour Hadi has begun national reconciliation talks aimed at putting an end to a prolonged political crisis and drafting a new constitution. More than 500 representatives of various political groups will take part in the discussions in Sana'a, which are expected to last 6 months. The dialogue is part of the deal that saw former President Ali Abdullah Saleh stand down in 2011 after a rising. Saleh handed over power to his deputy, Abdel Mansour Hadi, who became president in February 2012 after an election in which he stood unopposed. The national conference was originally scheduled to start in mid-November, but was delayed mainly due to the refusal of various factions to attend. Abdel Mansour Hadi, a southerner, has struggled to persuade secessionists to attend. People in the south have long complained of political and economic marginalization by the central government in Sana'a since unification with the north in 1990. The central government has sought to improve conditions in the south, restoring property confiscated from locals and rehiring fired state employees. However, a higher-line faction led by South Yemen's former president, Ali Salem al-Baid, who led the secessionist rebellion in 1994, insisted that it wanted negotiations only on southern independence.
Hundreds of residents of the Afghan province of Wardak rallied in Kabul over the weekend to protest the continued crisis. Afghan President Hamid Karzai has banned U.S. Special Forces from Wardak amid allegations of the disappearances of 9 Afghan civilians. The U.S. military appears to have ignored the ban, prompting a march by Wardak residents on the Afghan continent. One protester organizer said that U.S. Special Forces enter into people's houses and torture innocent people. They have also detained 10 persons, and it is not clear what has happened today.
And Venezuelan acting President Nicolás Maduro urged President Barack Obama to halt an alleged plot to assassinate opposition leader Enrique Capriles and to stop destabilizing his country ahead of the April 14th presidential election. Speaking in an interview with private channel Televen on Sunday, he accused former diplomats Roger Noriega and Otto Reich, as well as the Pentagon and the CIA, of being behind a plot to assassinate Capriles, his presidential rival. Maduro said he had reliable information to show that the U.S. organized plot aims to blame the government for the attack and create chaos in Venezuela. Meanwhile, Washington denied the charges. The State Department spokesman said, "We categorically reject allegations of U.S. government involvement in any plot to harm anyone in Venezuela." Maduro, who also accused opposition groups of being involved, said his government will provide protection for all presidential candidates, especially Capriles. However, Capriles said on Twitter that Maduro should be held accountable for any possible action against him.
And those are some of the national and international stories we're following for you here at Radio Habana Cuba for this Monday, March 18th. Once again, our headlines. Cuban President Raúl takes over meetings of ministers.
CTC calls on all Cuban workers to celebrate May Day throughout the island.
Cyprus Parliament to vote on bailout.
And top Venezuelan electoral body rejects interventionist remarks by U.S. official.
About a quarter past the hour, you've tuned to Radio Havana Cuba, our national and international shortwave radio frequencies here in English for this meeting. Thanks for joining us. Up next, Barney Cordova has our first commentary viewpoint.
The Guatemalan society, the nation, is living right now at the doorstep of the beginning of the first genocide trial in this country, which two ex-generals involved, Lieutenant and José Rodríguez, will go to court, although the defense believes to attempt to delay the verdict. Palomo and César Calderón, attorney, and Rodríguez, respectively, agreed that the two cannot start because there is so far